I'm Don Beers, and this is Brick Block and Beers, and I have with me today Donna Henson, who's the Executive Director for the Masonry Association of Florida, and Becky Magdaleno, who's the Executive Director for AIA. And our discussion topic today is a very, very important discussion topic for the construction industry, and that's apprenticeship. And so I know that both of you are deeply involved with it, and so I'll start with Becky. Becky, tell us a little bit about why you and your organization, the AIA Florida, is concerned about the problems with our workforce.
Yes, well, AIA Florida has about 4,000 members, so we represent the architects throughout the state of Florida. And the labor shortage in the construction and design industry is a major problem for us. If we don't have the skilled workers to bring to life the designs that our architects are making, then construction comes to a halt, and that's not good for any of us in the industry.
No, that's not good. we don't want any halts in the industry. So, and Donna, why don't you just tell us a little bit, because I know that you really have got a history with the apprenticeship in Florida.
Yes, I do. I represent the masonry industry, and we have masonry apprenticeship programs here in the state of Florida. Not enough, and our contractor members and producers are faced with the huge labor shortage all over the state. And we're doing everything that we can to bring the message of apprenticeship to the public, to make them aware. Apprenticeship, as we all know, starts with an individual that's trying to learn something new, a career, a trade. And in the construction industry, we have apprenticeship programs in electrical, HVAC, carpentry, and of course, masonry. And apprenticeship is a 3-year program. It is 6,000 work hours and 532 classroom hours that the apprentice goes through to learn the trade of masonry. And it takes a while, and they have to be committed, but at the end of the apprenticeship tenure, you've got a working knowledge, and you come out a trade professional. So it's important for all of us that we have as many apprentices as we can, because the need is great, and it's growing all the time.
Absolutely.
And so we want to produce for you those trade professionals that can work with the architects, the engineers, the design community to produce those beautiful buildings.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Becky.
Well, I was going to say architects do understand the importance of apprenticeship. Just to become an architect, after you go to school, you still need to do the architectural experience, which is not necessarily called apprenticeship, but is very similar. And then through our partnership through Masonry Association of Florida, we've been able to do hands-on training and have architects work with the materials they specify.
I know they really like that stuff.
Get a trowel in their hands, and that's been, I think that's been even more enlightening about just how skilled being a mason is.
I've been at some of those events, and I am blown away by their enthusiasm and their desire to really understand the trade and what goes into just producing that wall in a plumb level manner. And I have been impressed, because some of your members really come across very willing to learn and very quick at picking up what they need to do.
And it was amazing to see how slow some of those architects were compared to your masons were just fast getting a wall up.
Yes.
Well, it's not their specialty, so we'll cut them a little slack with that. The problems with apprenticeship are really deep, and they're across the entire country. I mean, all aspects of the construction industry, everywhere in the United States and probably the world, is experiencing problems with the labor shortage. Becky, have you and your group at the AIA, have you talked about what you think are possible solutions or possible directions that the industry needs to go to try to just get a grip on this? I mean, we've been through COVID. It's sort of a tough time, but the industry is coming back, particularly in Florida. Our construction industry is so strong. What are your thoughts, and I'm sure you've discussed?
Yes, we did a survey last summer of our members and labor skilled workers, not only just within the construction industry, but even the design professionals. It's been harder and harder to fill these positions. Obviously, with inflation, people want higher pay, so there's been a lot of issues with all of that, but a lot of it is education, getting people into these programs, whether it's a degreed program or apprenticeship programs. How do we get people into these programs? How do we make them affordable and accessible to the people that have these skills? And how do we keep bringing up the next generation and teaching them and mentoring them so they can enter the profession?
Well, with apprenticeship, it is at no cost to the apprentice. So it is covered either by the industry or the various departments of educations in different states. But there is not that same recognition in the general population today about apprenticeship. The options are you either go to college and get a degree, or you go to a trade school and get a degree, and those you can pay to attend. But apprenticeship melds together the learning that needs to take place in a classroom with practice, but it also melds it together with your work experience, because the employers are involved and they have skilled management people that mentor those apprentices when they're on the job. Plus, they're making a good wage while they're learning. So I think it is the industry's job, it is all of our jobs to get that message out. And
Absolutely.
So we hope with this podcast today that we can discuss this in just in a very relaxed, casual atmosphere and get that message out.
Absolutely.
So Donna, we work together, and I'm involved with some of the people who work for you in the apprenticeship. And when you talk to them about apprenticeship, the problems with the apprenticeship are really, really deep. So let's get to the kind of the crux of the matter. If you could sort of lay out for us some of the serious problems that we have in getting apprentices into the program, in getting them mentored by the industry, and getting them out the other end as skilled labor.
I think really the message should start in your education system. So we have been making forays into the high schools. I think it needs to begin in the the middle school level, and make this option aware to young people that, hey, you can go this pathway. We have a very successful apprenticeship program in the Carolinas, and they start in high school. And the high school students can be an apprentice for 3 years. During the school year, they take classes. During the summer, they work as interns out in the field. And so by the time they graduate, they have an extraordinary grasp of what's required, and they're quite skilled. And so that's something I think we need to look at here, and we are looking at that exact example. And then those high school students can easily just transition into a regular apprenticeship program where they'll get a certification and the status that comes with an apprenticeship that you've done. But it's extraordinary. I've met some of these high school students. We have a few programs already that are running in the state of Florida, and the work that they do, I mean, they're not under pressure on a job site, but the work that they produce is quite impressive. We also have some programs in our departments of correction. These also would be considered pre-apprenticeship programs because they're not working on the job with an employer. And some of our returning citizens come out with some awesome skills, and they transition straight into the workplace.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of Brick, Block, and Beers.